In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. I'm here with the second part of the Panorama image editing discussion for you, dear viewers. In the first part, we talked about how to take the original photo with your camera and then use the Adobe Bridge software to edit it like this and give the photo a better look. Now, moving on, we want to see how we can remove these unwanted parts present in the photo. Generally, you'll find the camera tripod in this area. In panorama photos, or when there are people or objects in the picture whose faces you don't want to be visible, or you don't want certain features to appear in the photo, here we will teach you how to remove them from the image. But before I start this topic, I want to point out a very important note to you, dear viewers. Pay attention. The original photo taken by our camera was about 7.8 megabytes in size. But after we edited this photo using Adobe Bridge and exported it, the output photo that was generated for us is 15 megabytes in size. You can see that the size of our photo has almost doubled, and this is an unintended and very undesirable outcome when it comes to creating virtual tours. We need to try as much as possible to reduce the photo size or image dimensions while maintaining quality so that we don't run into problems when uploading to the internet or displaying content or the virtual tour online. Well, this process will be done automatically in this section. That is, when you import this edited panorama into Photoshop and then export it, it will happen automatically. After removing the tripod, you export it and generate the output. The algorithm that Photoshop uses is really excellent, and it significantly reduces the file size of images while maintaining their quality. You will see that we end up with an image that's even smaller in size than the original, and we'll go over this together in the next steps. Let's open Photoshop. I recommend installing the 2019 version of Photoshop. It's a very complete and lightweight version, and you can easily work with it. I am now opening the previously edited photograph within the powerful Adobe Photoshop application. So after the image has been successfully opened and is fully loaded, I will then navigate to the 3D menu option and subsequently select the spherical panorama feature, which is a very useful tool for this specific task. Then I choose the new panorama layer option. This particular way, it effectively displays my panoramic photo in a captivating 3D representation. Just as you can clearly see right here, Photoshop consumes a lot of RAM when working in 3D mode. If you notice, depending on how long you work with it and the multiple edits you make in Photoshop's 3D mode, your memory usage accumulates and increases significantly. If you keep editing a lot, your computer might eventually run out of temporary storage space in the RAM, and you could get an error. At that point, you'll have to close the software and all your hard work will be lost. Therefore, first of all, I recommend that whenever you are editing a 360-degree panorama photo in 3D mode, don't make multiple consecutive edits without saving. And if you have to do this, make sure to save your work step by step so that you don't lose your file entirely. If the software can't actually support the required amount of RAM, or if your RAM can't handle the necessary memory, you can use a system with a higher amount of RAM. Now, we want to first remove the part where this person is standing here. From this photo, we select the Lasso tool option. Basically, it gives us a rope that we can use to draw around the unwanted parts with this rope like this. So we draw a close curve around this area and right click. We select the fill option. We want it to fill the inside of the closed area. We've selected with what? Using the content that surrounds it. In fact, it uses the software's own algorithm to guess and fill the inside based on the content outside. Therefore, we need to select the content aware option. When you click OK, depending on your computer's power, it might take a little while. And in the end, you'll see that the software was able to remove the area you needed and fill it in with content that it estimated would look like this. We go and look to see if there are any other areas that need to be removed. We can easily blur out or remove things like a license plate number, a piece of writing, or the face of someone who doesn't want to appear in the photo in this section. All right, in this part there is a red blemish. I want to fade this out a bit or remove it as much as possible. I'll scroll down a little and increase the zoom, for example, to 50% so I can see it more clearly. I select the lasso tool again, and in this way I try to remove this blemish from here like this. I right click and fill to see how it turns out. Alright, it looks somewhat better now. I'll also edit this corner a bit more so it looks more natural. Now I'll return the zoom to its original state. And now our panorama is ready for export. To export, go to menu in this section under 3D menu. Spherical panorama, export panorama. We select the location where we want our exported file to be saved. I want it to be saved right here, and I'll name it Final Panorama. I save it. Depending on the size of your input image, it may take some time for the output file to be generated. Now, a very important point here is that we go and check the size of the generated output file. You saw that it's 6.79, which is even smaller than the original file. The reason for this is that the original file actually included metadata, which we removed in the edit section using Adobe Bridge, so we didn't let it remain on the photo. And here we also compressed it using Photoshop, so our final image was created in this way while preserving its quality. This photo is actually from before the final image. You can see its quality, and this one is the original photo. Now I want us to compare their quality together. In this way, you can see that the quality has been kept almost